I think my 22F mother's 52F boyfriend (M) is possibly cheating on her. Am I justified to be upset and angry at how he is treating her? This is going to be long, so apologies in advance, but I'm just so upset about the entire situation and need to know if I'm justified. My mum has been seeing her boyfriend since the start of June, but I believe she was talking to him for 2 to 4 weeks before that, but I didn't take much notice of the time frame. She has been going to his house since around the start of June, and it started out really intense. She would go to his house, 20 minutes away, 1 to 2 nights a week for dinner. One day, I believe a Saturday, she spent the entire day with him and they went for a date 2 hours away and went walking and sightseeing. She was with him over 12 hours. She spent most of the next day with him as well. She kept going out there and it seemed to be going really well. She even said, next time I go out for dinner I will be staying the night, but then that never happened. I assume because he made excuses, starting work early. He runs his own business that's essentially handyman, but to the extreme. He does anything from painting houses to restumping and relocating buildings. It's quite a labor-intensive job, but he can set his own hours. In the past 2 months the dates have suddenly dropped off. He still calls her every night, but almost every time she tries to make plans to go and see him he seems to use his work as an excuse. Either he has been too busy, he is finishing late, he needs to be up early. She lets her know when she isn't working and gives him usually 3 to 4 days/night they could hang out, but at this point she sometimes isn't even seeing him once a week because he always makes excuses. Sometimes he is just having dinner with his friends, who know about the relationship, but he only told them recently. I'm 22 years old and an only child. He has 3 kids, 21, 25 and 28. One of the older kids is married with kids and another is in a long-term relationship. Now to the strange part. He won't tell anyone about the relationship. Apparently his last relationship, quite a while ago I believe, didn't end well, and that's why he is hesitant to tell anyone, even his kids. In my opinion that's a pathetic excuse. They are adults and in long-term relationships and even marriages. They understand that some relationships don't work out. His birthday was a few weeks ago, on a Friday, and my mum was so excited. She took time off work so she could see him for a bit. He knew this. Closer to the date she was trying to track down his favorite cake, baked cheesecake, and when she couldn't buy one, she got a cake maker to make one. It was absolutely gorgeous, piled with his favorite fruit. Turns out his kids were traveling to see him, so mum couldn't spend time with him. She had the cake though, so she was like, message me when you are on your lunch break and I will bring it out. She knew the kids would be arriving anytime from 2:30 p.m. onwards. He never messaged her, but she wanted him to have the cake, so she drove to his house at 2 p.m. and was forced to leave this absolutely gorgeous cake outside until he got home. I'm not sure what he told his kids. Maybe he said he brought it? I would be curious to what pathetic excuse he gave that extinguished my mum's thoughtfulness though. She went to see him on the Sunday, 2 days after his birthday, and he told her he saved her some cakes so they could have a late celebration. She said there was about 5 mouthfuls left and he had half of that. She wasn't upset as such, but when you say, hey, I saved you some cake so we can have a celebration, knowing she was so excited for his birthday and she paid a lot of money to have the cake made, and then getting 2 bites really rubbed me the wrong way. She told him a few days after the birthday, that she was somewhat upset about, that he has to think about what he wants. She really likes him, but she can't handle the relationship being a secret and his kids, and everyone else, not knowing about it. He said he would think about it. This was just after his birthday, so a few weeks. His best friends know, but that's it, and she can't handle that. Mum found it hard not to message him and he was ignoring her messages, so he had time to think. That's fair. However, in the last week or so he has been calling her every night like nothing happened, so I assumed it was fine and he had made his mind up since he was the one always reaching out. He called last night. I started this post during the call, and it seemed to be fine when she got off the phone. After talking to her after the call, I got quite upset and ended up crying before I went to bed because I'm sick of him treating her like crap. After we calmed down, she came back and asked if I wanted to meet him. I said yes. I have quite severe anxiety, diagnosed, and didn't want to meet him at the start because I was worried he would hate me and think I was weird and impact on the relationship. She said she was going to his house the next night and would talk about AITA present day. She went to his house around 5 p.m. so I held off on this post until I knew how the date went. I got a lift home from a coworker at 9:30 p.m. because she let me know she wouldn't be home. She usually gets home around 11 p.m. or so, but tonight it wasn't until 12 a.m. so I assumed it went well. I asked how it went and she said he was in a good mood. However, to my disgust, he hasn't thought about the relationship at all yet. He has had 2 weeks and he ignored her for half of that so he could think. He said his current job is a month and then he will go away for a while to think about it before he lets her know anything. That brings us to almost Christmas and she didn't seem happy with that and I completely understand. I asked her if he wanted to meet me and she said she brought it up twice and he ignored her both times. She told him from now on she will stop texting him and calling him so he can think. That confuses me because he is always the one to call. She used to be the one calling him of a night but now he constantly calls her of a night time so they can talk and they are usually on the phone for at least 45 minutes. I'm so angry and worked up so I don't know if I'm being irrational to think he may be seeing someone else. I think he likes her, or is at least using her, because he initiates all conversation. He calls her every night. My mum was quite upset one day and he wanted her to go out to his house at like 8 p.m. so he could be with her. To me, all signs point to him genuinely liking her but I'm so confused and angry about how he is treating her. I have never been in a relationship but watching from the sidelines this doesn't seem normal to me. She said he is the kindest man she has ever met and he is perfect and I know how much she likes him and I think that's why I'm so upset and angry at him. She said he is just a workaholic and that's the reason why he is always busy, but I'm not sure she is even believing that anymore. I don't know how I should be feeling or what to say to her. Do I be supportive even though I really am quite angry at him at the moment? Too long, didn't read. My mum's boyfriend constantly makes excuses as to why they can't see each other. He won't tell his kids about the relationship and only his best friend, and BF's wife, no. A few weeks ago mum told him he needs to think about what he wants. He ignored her for a week to think and then suddenly started calling her every night to speak to her. She seen him tonight and he ignored her when she said I wanted to meet him. He said he hasn't thought about the relationship and wouldn't really think about it until his current job, 1 month, is finished and he gets back from his holiday. I'm not sure if he is seeing someone else on the side and I don't know if I'm allowed to feel angry/annoyed. I want to know how to support her while feeling negative emotions towards this man.
Hey guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me out, thanks.
I think your mom is the other woman. My husband is a handyman and he can work morning to night for 1 week and then he will have a calmer schedule the next. I don't doubt his job is demanding like that as well. Physical labor jobs like that are financially rewarding but also hard on your body. He's being truthful of being tired. Maybe his kids are a lot to handle? Like he didn't want to involve them yet, or maybe he has cold feet. Maybe he is reserved in letting a woman in his life, past mistreatment maybe? Middle-age dating has to be harder than 20s dating. The best thing would be for you to meet him and see how he is around your mum. It seems like you both have a great relationship and your head is in the right place. I don't think there is any infidelity. Just old dogs learning how to manage new relationships. Wife broke down crying at dinner table over ex-boyfriend. Me, 42M wife, 42F we have been married for almost a year. Together for 3. Scenario, having dinner, eating and drinking wine. Just 1 glass of wine, not getting drunk. Her daughter, 12, asks about her ex-boyfriend, as in what happened/why they broke up, more than 4 years ago, and my wife breaks down at the table, full on crying, gets up and leaves the table. We are just stuck in slow motion at the table. Her daughter says thought she would have been over that by now and I say the same. We talk about it privately and she says that she was hurt by him and his betrayal. He left her for another woman, but 4 years ago, and I'm now married to her. She says her episode was a result of the pain from the betrayal, not from feelings for him. I'm having a hard time with this as it seems like there are some leftover feelings for him she isn't telling me about. I'm feeling like maybe I'll never live up to what they had together. Her daughter isn't biologically related to the XPF. The energy in our house is very heavy. Help. Trying to get past it. Update, just for clarity, he didn't cheat on her. He did betray her and did leave her for a good friend of hers. So yeah, bad situation. They were living together for 5 years. I am grateful for all those who have written in and given their thoughts. It helps a lot. Thank you. I will have a conversation with her about it and us moving past it. I believe her when she says she doesn't have feelings any longer for him. It was just hard last night when my head was spinning from that episode. So hard to see it that way. TL, doctor, wife cried over XPF from 4 years ago in front of myself and her child. Says it was because of the pain of betrayal, not feelings for him. When I found out my then fiancé was cheating on me, I threw up. I still have a very visceral reaction when I think about that time, now almost 9 years later. I am in a wonderful relationship now and have not a shred of positive emotion towards my ex. But the feelings were still very intense and still reverberate sometimes. My 35F boyfriend, 33M, of 5 years secretly took a cab to take a walk at night while out of town. My 33M boyfriend is in San Fran for an interview. We were video chatting with our 3-year-old after the interview yesterday. Saying he missed us etc. all normal happy stuff. He left NJ at 3 AM for the flight there. Told us he was exhausted and headed to bed. I messaged him at 2:10 AM my time, 11:10 PM his, that I was up BCR3 wet the bed again. He responded with poor girl and nothing else. This morning we video call him as was planned during breakfast for our kid to say hello to daddy. He answers without video, which is not normal. We call frequently with video. I asked when did you get home and he kinda hesitated before saying 3 AM. He offered nothing else. I found this morning he took a lift to Chinatown at 1120 PM PST and didn't cab back to his hotel till 3 AM. He messages me nothing, says nothing, so I message him after breakfast about being out all night and he says he needed to take a walk. Says no cheating happened. This man has a terrible sense of direction. Can't read a map etc. but went for a walk in a city he doesn't know from 1130 PM 3 AM. Huh? And mentioned nothing about it even though he knew I was awake here at the same time changing sheets on the East Coast. Why not mention that he can't sleep and am headed out? No pictures or comments about his walk. Says he was going to mention it in the morning. Thoughts? My nerves are shot. He has a major history of being dishonest. This was our time to be transparent and open to rebuild trust for our family. Why leave his hotel, which is already on the water with a fantastic view, in the middle of the night? I'm ready to pack up and leave him. Edited to add, after suggestions from commenters, he started living sober in December but also has a deep history with gambling and paid romance. I made some serious and stupid concessions to forgive and rebuild because of history, hope, having not many options of my own and a small child. Seems he is possibly making the same choices and traveling the same path anyway. He makes a lot of promises and I wanted to believe we were building but is apparently allergic to truth and loyalty. Too long, didn't read boyfriend out 1130 PM 3 AM when he said was going to bed. Has history of lies, says didn't cheat. Says couldn't sleep, took a $20 cab to Chinatown to go for a walk. Sees no issue with what he did. I feel gaslighted. He loves gambling and paid romance workers and now he's out taking 3 to 4 hour walks at 2 AM. We all know he wasn't taking a walk.